Hey guys, and welcome back to another model review with me. So we talked about one heavy cruiser in the last review. Let's talk about another heavy cruiser today. So we're going back into Britain with the Royal Navy with a ship which I find quite niche when it comes to model ships, because obviously I don't know many places or many companies that do one, for that matter of fact. So, gentlemen, boys and girls, I give you HMS Cornwall. She is a counterclass Kent subclass heavy cruiser. We'll talk a bit more about the history in just a mo. So, let's talk about her, shall we? As I said, Cornwall was a counterclass heavy cruiser in the Royal Navy. She was Kent subclass, so that means there were some modifications done to her compared to how the counties started out with. She was the second of the class in the Kent class to be built and finished. She was built in Devonport Dockyards in Plymouth. She was laid down on the 9th of October 1924, launched on 11th of March 1928, and was finished and ready to go by the 8th of May 1928. She spent most of her peacetime just before World War II in the China Station, making sure everything is all good and peaceful there. But when war was declared, she spent most of the beginning of the war as a hunter for German raiders. And in 1941, she would get her wish. She found the Penguin, which was a German commerce raider, and quite infamous on its own, apart from the Atlantis and the Graspy. I could go on for ages about these, but for now, Penguin was in the vicinity. Cornwall found her and went after her and destroyed her. She continued her duties of escorting throughout March 1942, and unfortunately on the 5th of April she was sunk by Japanese bombers in an aircraft carrier attack, and that basically ended Cornwall's career. Very short and sweet. Unfortunately a lot of good men went down with Cornwall, I do believe. So, let's talk a bit about the model and the counterclass as a whole. Now, ironically enough, this is not the first time I've actually built a counterclass heavy cruiser. The first one, believe it or not, was actually HMS Suffolk in the Airfix Ranger kits, which was a 1/600 scale. I do like the counterclass. I think they're very sleek. Obviously, you can tell they're slightly old, but they still got character to them. They still look good. They still feel good. And in World War II, obviously, we didn't have many heavy cruisers, and especially not after instances like Cornwall, the Devonshire. Who else went down? There was a couple of heavy cruisers that went down, but obviously the most famous particular two is Norfolk and Suffolk, when they were helping tail the Bismarck after her escapades with HMS Hood. And obviously Devonshire, she helped put torpedoes into Bismarck, which obviously, well, as I said before, sank you away. So obviously I wanted to get my hands on a model kit that was a lot bigger, a bit more detail, and just wanted to get a model of a heavy cruiser for the Royal Navy, guys, because at the time I built this, bearing in mind this is not one of my newer kits, although she technically was one of the newer models I did a review on back on YouTube. I know she was built after what happened with COVID, but I do recall this. Trying to get my hands on one was very, very difficult. I had a couple of choices to make. I was either going to get this one or HMS Kent herself, or I was also going to get my hands on HMS Exeter or York. Exeter and York, I'm still not quite sure about getting my hands on one of either at the moment, but I have been debating on it, guys, so watch this space. Might get Exeter later on, because she obviously is a little bit more famous than her sister. So obviously I got my hands on Cornwall, started building her, and found her to be quite an interesting and fun build, even with the photo etch parts. Now the model in question is obviously 1/350, as you all know. Not even going to bother with scales, guys. Spoiler alert for any future models, unless I tell you, they're all going to be 1/350 battleships and cruisers and all that stuff. So it's all 1/350 in scale. But the kit in question is a trumpeter model kit, and obviously we all know trumpeter can have its ups and downs. this one I found to be more ups than down, because the photo etch parts were not too many. You knew exactly where you had to put them with their plans. The plans were very good, and yeah, it was just a fun build as a whole. Really, I absolutely enjoyed building her. Obviously, because my Royal Navy fleet is still quite small compared to everybody else, she is one of the few cruisers I've actually got in my fleet. So, it's just, it is what it is, I suppose, isn't it? Now, surprisingly enough, as you guys can probably tell, that is ironically Royal Navy Grey. So I was able to get my hands on a tin, believe it or not. Yes, a single tin of Royal Navy Grey, and I was very, very carefully rationing this tin so I could get Cornwall looking like she is, as you can see before you. So yeah, we've got Royal Navy Grey, we've got Dark Sea Grey for the deck. I forget what colours I did the walrus there in, so forgive me for that one, guys. The wooden deck is an extra. The photo etch trains ironically did come with a kit, so didn't get them from Edcard this time. And yeah, also the chains came with the kit as well. Unfortunately, you can probably tell there is a flag missing on the bowsprit there, so I've had to basically improvise, so to speak. She does. Oh well, this one's still there. As you can tell, the kit is slightly older than the rest, but I did have two Navy ensigns flying from both sides, just to give it that look. Here I come. We're British. We're here to defend you and stuff like that. Oh bless. Anyway, so yeah, I've got a Union Jackson up there, and I did have one there, but it's fallen off unfortunately. I do recommend this model kit, guys, because if you are after a cruiser that's not to do with the Royal Navy or German Navy or the American Navy, this is one of the very few model kits you can get as a heavy cruiser at a good scale for what you get. As I said before, as a whole, the Royal Navy didn't really have many heavy cruisers. The first technical heavy cruiser that came out was the Hawkins class way back in World War One. But even still, that was questionable. But yeah, if you want, World War II era stuff or pre-war era stuff, then you can get your hands on Exeter, York, Kent, or Cornwall. I'm not sure if there's many other kits out there with 1350 the Trumpeter have done from the County class, guys, but you can obviously have a look, and if you do find something, that's good for you. And that's basically it, really. So not much else to really talk about, really, guys. Obviously, as I mentioned in the USS Indianapolis video already, there are going to be a couple of cruisers coming out in the foreseeable future. I've actually finished off two more, which we'll talk about later on. But I will give you guys a hint. One is Japanese, and one is definitely another Brit. More on them later. For now, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this model review of HMS Cornwall, and yeah, I'll catch you all in the next video. In the meantime, you have a nice week and have a nice weekend, and take care. Ta-ta for now.